Stay Sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training, techniques, healing and guidance for growth, mindset and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlan. Hello and welcome to the 21st episode. And today we're going to be interviewing Varney, who is an intrepid explorer of the mysteries of the human spirit. She's invested over £350,000 in travelling the world and training with world-renowned teachers and healers. She's an acclaimed international spiritual teacher, a speaker and an author of 3 books. And her specialities include Shamanic Energy Healing, Alchemy and quantum jumping. Welcome. So good to have you on.
Great to be here. Great to be here. That sounds like, yeah, it's true.
Fantastic. We have the right person on. Yeah. So we met last year at a women in business event. Yeah. And after hearing your story, I thought I have to get her on Stay Sane with Jane and interview her, because your life has been more than interesting. We could probably make a movie out of it, couldn't we?
True. Very true. That's only a tiny bit of it you got to of where I came, what I've done with my life and where I came from and all the rest of it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So basically, I had a multi-6-figure business as an award-winning bridal designer who I used to make and design and make outfits for celebrities, gentry, all the big names. It was high-end bridal I used to do, and also Mother of the Bride and bridesmaids and special occasion wear and all the rest. And I also had my own label, and Varney Couture as well, and where I would go to China and design. And I also designed for international designers. Travelled the world quite extensively with them, put on fashion shows at the Versace Hotel in the Gold Coast, and open air shows with international designers that I would create open air in Scotland. Everybody used to say, you're off your head in Scotland, who does that? So yeah, I've done a lot, double page spreads, magazines, front page of OK, all that kind of stuff, and burnt myself out. Totally burnt myself out because I was a single parent with 2 kids, and I also and had quite a few staff. And I also worked full-time as a fashion lecturer as well. With all that.
Wow, at the universities.
Yeah, and looking after my parents. So I used to work very long hours, as you can imagine, having a full-time business, full-time, over 100 students I used to teach, all about fashion and patterns and design and sewing and making them up and all the rest of it. And having 2 kids, and being a single parent amongst that as well, So I actually not burnt myself out once, burnt myself out 3 times, and listened the 3rd time, though I have to say. But
the universe keeps on, doesn't it? It keeps on knocking until you take heed, so to speak.
Yeah, and I went and did I basically broke my foot. I knew I had to do something in my life because you can imagine, it was deadline after deadline after deadline, that you can't keep that stress up. And so I knew there was I needed to do something, and I broke my foot quite badly, actually, when I went for my 40th birthday with a load of people, when I was called Anne Savage, that I used to,
Love it.
and all the rest of it. And it was when I broke my foot. Obviously, I couldn't drive. I couldn't do. I was very independent, and I had to rely on other people. That was very hard for me to do that, to rely on others. And all my staff was spiritual. So, and I wasn't. I mean, I used to say they were off their heads. You have no right. People are taking you for a ride. The things I used to say to them, and they would just laugh at me. But isn't it interesting that I actually picked people who are very spiritual? They were Reiki practitioners or light workers, or they say, what?
Very interesting. The universe was calling these people in to surround you. Yeah,
massively. And so there was one of them had brought this book, Are You Psychic, by Dorothy Chitty, and I decided I'll take that to read, not thinking anything of it. I'll just take it for reading. And there was a meditation, and I started doing this meditation. It took me a couple of weeks before I could get into this meditation, because it was a really long meditation. And I used to, because I couldn't sleep. I wasn't a good sleeper. So I would wake at 3 in the morning, and I'd meditate till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd get up.
Oh my gosh!
That's... Yeah. And I used to have, and I would feel so refreshed. I would feel so much better, because before I would just lie awake worrying, about deadlines here and deadlines there and what have you. So it really did help. But what I would have this, I was just speaking about this with a client just there, actually, and I'd have this little black book, and I would write in this black book all these things I would get told about myself, or about other people who I knew, and I would just write in this book, not thinking anything of it. And I found the book years later, and every single thing in that book came true.
Wow.
Everything. I remember writing down, you'll go to China in 2012. And I remember when I was writing that, you're a comedian now. Yeah, I did. I went to China in 2012. I couldn't believe. And forgot about that. I wrote, when I'm in the zone, I forget what I'm writing.
Yes, yeah.
It just doesn't go in. And when I found the book and I read everything in it, I went, Jesus, what? So I went on a journey. I went on a journey I knew there was something else there, because of these, I was getting these spirit guides coming in, power animals, all the what comes when you have deep meditations like that. And some of those meditations was crossing over to the other side. It was like you were touching the hand of God, is what I'll say, even though I don't believe in that figure of God, if you know what I mean. To me, it's source energy.
Yes, the energy that flows through, I would say, that flows through every single thing and every single being.
Yeah, totally. So, and I just really connected to that energy, and my life started to change. As we all hear, once you connect to that energy, the things that don't serve you any longer, the people that don't serve you, just fall and drop off, and that's exactly what happened. And then I went to and did a 10-day trek. Well, it was actually a couple of weeks I was away to Machu Picchu. I'd never doing the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Now, I couldn't even walk up the road. Never mind go and walk and hike up hills, So,
some of those, they're mountains with cliff drops off of them. Yeah.
Beautiful, though. Absolutely beautiful. And so that was a real struggle for me. I had to get myself a trainer and all the rest of it to go and do that. And 6 weeks after me doing that, I shut everything down. Everything shut down. Basically everything in that shop sold, and
so you closed your business, fashion business, everything.
Yeah, just 6 weeks after doing Machu Picchu, because I had such a spiritual experience there.
Yeah.
that I knew when I was going around with this noose, this imaginary noose around my neck, you know, for a couple of years going to work, thinking, oh, there has to be more than this, you know, and people would think that I was inspired to be me because, you know, because of what I achieved and what have you, and yet I absolutely hated the person I created. I didn't.
You weren't finding joy within it anymore, and that's the thing, isn't it? If when we lose joy and fun and love within whatever work you're in, that's when it's time to change or heal, or, you know, it's like the massive sign, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. And then I realized, so when I did that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy to do. You know, it wasn't easy at all. It was really I remember my oldest son coming into the because and the thing is, it was near bankruptcy. I allowed it to go to near bankruptcy, the business. And my son came in. I never told anybody. I never let any brides down because at that time all the bridal salons were, people were going to the shops to get their wedding dresses, and the shop was shut. You know, but I never let.
So it wasn't just your business; it was like a industry.
Yeah, it was
going on in the industry.
Yeah, the industry, because the online wedding dresses came in, and we're closing businesses down left, right, and centre. But I never let anybody down. You know, I made sure that everybody, even a year later after them having the shop shut, you know, they had their dresses and all the rest of it. And so basically what happened was, I remember being in the kitchen a couple of days after it closed, and my oldest son had came through, and says, because I never told anybody. You know, I never told anybody. I just says I was shutting it down because I was going to re-educate myself and what have you. And he comes in and I just broke down. You know, he says, I didn't realize that it was how it was, you know, and I broke down, and he turned around and says to me, it's good to see you're human, you know. And it was a real, because I've been had so many things up in the air, trying to be this strong, powerful, and, you know, inspirational, you know,
superhuman, almost robotic. Yeah.
But there was no one there for me.
Yeah.
I was holding the balls up for everybody else, but there was nobody holding the balls up for me, basically, you know.
And do you feel, were you in a space to even allow someone to help you at that stage as well? Yeah. Because that's what we get into that, don't we? And then we're not accepting help, but we terribly need help. And it's just this awful cycle.
Yeah. And my thing was vulnerability. You know, I would never allow myself vulnerable. You'll not see me vulnerable. I've got to be really strong, and I've got to, you know. Whereas I didn't realize vulnerability was a strength. You know, I seen it as a big weakness. You know, because that's what I was taught as a child. Never show vulnerability. So so I realized. Then I went and retrained. Went and did a master's in child development and psychology. The university, Stirling University, and I about killed myself because I had no background in psychology. I was a fashion designer. I was a bridal designer, you know what I mean? So, and there was quite a lot of people that actually left, more the mature student. They left in the first week. No wonder, but no, I stuck it out, as I say, but killed myself though. And then just went and retrained in meditation, and whilst in hypnotherapy at advanced levels, and Sachem, and so many other things. But whilst I was doing all that, I was traveling the world with real Rinpoches in Nepal, and shamans in Peru, and you know, all these kind of places, and what do you call them? Native Americans in the outbacks of California and what have you.
Yeah.
Just trying to heal myself more than anything, as opposed to, if somebody said to me then that I would be a spiritual teacher, I would have just laughed at you.
You were on your own healing journey.
Yeah.
And by the sounds of it, throughout your life, you've had a thirst for learning anyway.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowledge, and you like to keep busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that healing journey wouldn't be something that was just sort of sedentary and reading a few books
No.
at home. It'd be right. I want to get my teeth into this.
Yeah.
I want to embody it. I want to live it. I want to breathe it.
Yeah. Yeah. And also in sweat lodges and I was always given a lot of honors as well, you know, because I was a grandmaster of for a sweat lodge of taking the because it's an honorary position to be able to do that, take the rocks into the sweat lodge for them. You know, I was always given these kind of roles when I was on my and staff, and you know, supporting the people with the teachers and what have you. So I always had those kind of roles when I was doing that, but I never ever seen my own power potential. I was just doing it because it was something that my soul yearned. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I really wanted to dive in on this interview about your offer. I don't want to leave it till the last kind of second, because the title is very, very inviting. So unlock abundance, like by releasing ancestral curses, where throughout my own kind of healing journey, I've done a lot of healing lines, ancestral lines, inherited, etc. So can you, I'd love to hear like your journey through releasing those ancestral curses and where you learned this. I mean, it's so fascinating, and it's also something beautiful to watch when you finally do it in your own life, and then you really do see those ripple effects out into the rest of the family.
Yeah, totally. And it does ripple effect out to the family. You know? Because when I was doing my trainings, they were we were to actually go along the ancestral lines, and it was something that was recurring in not just my life but the other people in my family's life, and the big thing at that time was I wouldn't allow anybody in to love me, and I wouldn't allow myself to love anybody else. So I was a single parent for like 23, 24 years. I was a single parent. Don't get me wrong, I had a very good life, you know. People think you're a single parent for all that time. Oh, what a shame. No, I traveled the world extensively. I had a really good life. Stressful life, but a good life as well. And but there was a thing around our female lineage that my mother was married 4 times, and there weren't very good men that she married, and you know, there was always an abuse kind of thing. My granny was the same, her auntie was the same, and my granny's granny was the same. You know, there was this with love, same with myself. You know, so they asked us to go and release the ancestral curse around the what it was recurring in the family lineage, and so that was a big thing for the family. So when we goes into the spiritual realm, and going along the timelines, I just did this morning actually with a client, not for this thing but something similar. It was actually around money, and the difference in her energy from start to finish was unbelievable. And basically we go back to why that curse has been placed upon the timeline. You know, what is it? And it was because it was a past life, and it was my ancestral, you know, the female ancestral had stole someone's husband on the way back. I think it was like 1300s or something like that. Stole someone's husband, and she'd stole the husband from a witch, and a black witch, and it was the black witch that had put the curse on the full language, the lineage of the rest of the women. Just on the women, it wasn't on the men. It was just on the women. That they would never find love.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I released this curse, the interesting thing that happened was I found love, and I'm still with my partner yet after 8 years.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
That's lovely. And do you have 2 sons?
2 sons, yeah.
So also, so you've got no daughters?
No.
No. So
No.
also you are like the end of that line as
Yes.
well. You have no daughters.
Yeah.
You had, and then you got to finalize it and stop it. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Interesting, isn't it? Brilliant. Like the day with the money, the ancestral line around the with that is that there was a curse placed on by the mother unknowingly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be someone else that puts it on. Remember, it can also be the actual the mother or the father or what have you.
Yeah.
Even the self can put curses on the self.
Yeah, and that's just what I was going to say, is that curses aren't just done by the dark witches. We can do them on ourselves, like right now in this lifetime, can't we? It's those repeated patterns, the repeated things we say to ourselves or about certain things. As the, you see some of those memes, and it's spelling, it's called spelling for a reason, because you are making spells with your words all the time.
Massively. And people don't realize this. They see, a lot of people see curses. Oh, it's a bad thing. Don't go near me, and what have you. And as you say, there's so many people are doing it to themselves. I did it to myself as well,
Yeah.
We all do. And we just don't realize it. And even if you've got an adversity, you've got an adverse, your nemesis, as I call it, you've got someone who really does, triggers you and really does things. And those bad words you're saying about that person, you're actually cursing that person. But not only are you cursing them, it's coming back to you as well. The energy. Because it's all energy. The energy is coming back to you. So be careful of what you're saying about other people too.
Yeah. My daughter has a saying, something like, gossip is like sand, or gossip is like sand or glitter.
Yeah.
Once you sprinkle it, you can never get rid of it. Not 100%. Is it like, oh, that's true. She's only 11.
Yeah, true.
She's a wise child.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's and people don't realize that because they don't see words as energy. Of when you are speaking, but that energy can come back and harm you.
Kat has come to say hello. She come here, girl. Go on, just go. But she loves to come over and see if she can do some healing on coals as well.
Brilliant.
So tell me, I know you've got, from all of your training all around the world, you've got lots of modalities.
Oh,
yeah. So if we were to work together, what would it look like?
So there's a few ways that I work with people. So first of all, I have my Spiritual Awakening Academy membership. It's very low cost because I find that a lot of healers have healer sickness, is what I call it, and which is that they won't charge for the services. They give everything away for free. And I used to do that myself. I would charge thousands and thousands of pounds for a dress. But get me to charge for someone who I'm changing their life to, I just couldn't do it, because it wasn't palpable. I couldn't see it.
Yes.
And I think that it's really it's a sickness that's in the healing world. It really is. I'm not like that now, but I really was when I first started. I would do meditation classes, and I would put soup on and beautiful breads and all the rest, and I would charge $5.
I usually suspect would just cover your costs.
I wouldn't even cover my costs. I wouldn't even cover my costs,
Yeah.
It's terrible, because I just wanted to give. And a lot of healers are like that, that's, if it's one aim I have in life, is to change that, that. So I have it really low. It's only £27 a month, and you can cancel it any time, but there's about 20 odd programs are in there, shamanic programs, angelic programs, alchemy, energy, manifestation, meditation, most things in the spiritual realm is in there, a lot of shamanic stuff in there, and how to help not only heal yourself, but help others. There's practitioner programs in there as well, shamanic and angelic, what have you. So we've got that. And then we have my high ticket group programs, where I take a small intimate number. Usually it's between 6 and 8 that I'll take through, which one's a spiritual abundance creator, but I only do it once or twice a year. And the spiritual alchemist that I'm just bringing back alive, which starts on May the 20th, I'm sure. I could be wrong about that, but I'm sure it's May the 20th, round about then. Whereas it's going to be a 3-month program this time. And I did this about 2.5 years ago. And one of the girls who came on it, she just couldn't afford it, and started payment plans. And on week 4, she manifested £58 million.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah, it's a very powerful program, just the way that how I do it with people. And again, I take an intimate number so that I can really get, because I'm working with their energy, as well as showing them the processes of what they need to do to raise that energy, to be the alchemist.
Yes,
that's what it is, to be the alchemist with your emotions and what have you. So they're my 2 programs that I run sort of, once or twice a year. And then one-to-one, so people can have a one-to-one with me, that I really go deep into what it is that they need. I don't have a structure. It's just really, some people come to me for business, and we work with their business and get them really aligned in their business so that it's just flowing. Other people, it's just personal, it's for themselves that I work with. But usually, even if they're coming for business, you've got to do the personal anyway.
Oh, always. I mean, sometimes I've ended up doing 6 months personal work with someone before we've even been able to get into the business structure, because it's like, well, like, we can, but nothing's going to really change until we sort this stuff out. It's like looking at I always dive into like the 7 key areas of life, because your business and your finances are never going to be 10 out of 10 if your relationships are shocking, or it's all about that balance, isn't it? And stepping back and looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, totally. So I take them through a few processes of clearing and balancing, we'll say, because we hold on to so much crap. We really do, energetically, because I work a lot.
And we're born with a lot of inherited energy, thoughts, beliefs. We're not working with a clean plate when we arrive, are we?
No, definitely not. And it's quite interesting you're saying that, because I've been asking my spirit team just now for the past few weeks of, show me the cellular membrane that I can really reset and put back to default, so that all those patterns and limitations and things that we no longer need, we keep the energy of the growth, the lessons and what have you, but we change the structure, you know, so that we can, and it's interesting in what I've got coming back for that, because I'm a bit weird and wonderful of what some of the thoughts, because I know how powerful we are. We're very, very powerful people, you know.
What are the messages coming back from that question?
Yeah. It's interesting. Watch this space is all this.
Oh, she's not going to give it up just yet. I feel another program coming on, maybe, or a book.
So and I worked with them 3 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It's always best, I always think, for a 12-month, because you're really getting there's a right cellular change then. I think if you do the 3 month, it's just you'll know yourself when you work with people. You know, the people want that quick fix, because we're told that they can have that quick fix, but that's not true.
And if you, behind every what do they call it? Well, behind everybody that looks like they instantly get rich or success or famous or whatever it is, they've done years and years and years of hard slog and learning and whatever it is, self-development. It's not just happened overnight.
No, not at
Ever.
all. And you've got to be consistent. This is where a lot of people fall down. They become attached to the outcome and they're not consistent. When you're attached to the outcome, you are, you know, you're really stopping yourself from being the best that you can be. This is I was away doing a speakers thing at the weekend in Birmingham, about brand and vision and vibration and what have you, and visibility. And it was really interesting, you know, the people, when I was doing the talk, and I'm saying to them, you know, we all, me included, you know, manifestation. Why you're not getting your manifestation? It's because you're attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. You're attached to the outcome. I'll get this if I get that. This will happen if I get this, you know. You have got to have no attachments. You've got to let it completely go. And that's when life does. And how many of us?
Yes.
Me included, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of the time we're only doing the thing to get the end result.
Yeah.
I remember last summer I was in Italy and we were climbing some mountains.
Yeah.
And me and my daughter were getting awfully out of breath compared to the other 3 people who were marching on ahead, getting to the end destination. And at first we were both slogging up like, oh God, I wish they'd wait for us. And I was like, actually, just stop. We're so fixed on getting to the top that we're not actually enjoying the walk. We're not enjoying it. They can go off and like race to the top. That's fine. That's what gives them enjoyment. But what gives us enjoyment is looking at all these trees, listening for birds, seeing if we can see little lizards, watching the ants, this and that. We might take double the time, but we're still going to get there. But we're going to enjoy the journey. And it is that slowing down, isn't it?
And connecting to that, a lot of people, they'll maybe connect to the heart, but they don't have the heart-mind coherence, you know, and you really do need that that heart-mind coherence, you know, for especially when you're manifesting, especially when you're trying to unlock that abundance, you know, that we all crave, because everybody craves abundance somewhere in their life, whether it be monetary, relationship, you know, success, whatever it is. We're all looking for more abundance, you know, when in fact, in this precise moment, they have everything that they need.
Yeah. Beautiful. So with that in mind, what would be your kind of little gem of advice, any top tips for the audience, things that they can kind of implement today onwards for free? It's about, you know, if they do it consistently, they could make amazing changes, what would it be for you and where your journey?
There's a couple of things I would say. First of all, have a daily practice. I have a daily practice. If I, as you know, I get an abundance of gorgeous feathers. I mean, yesterday I just got on my laptop. I got this black, just sitting on my laptop. You know, this black feather on my laptop.
I was just thinking of a feather just like that, which I've got in my treatment room, which is normally with the crystals, and yesterday it was under my chair, and I was like, oh.
And this one was under my pillow. when I got, and this I got quite a few yesterday actually, and this one I got in my phone, my wallet 5 minutes before it wasn't there, and it was there. And why I'm mentioning that is because I do a daily practice, my manifestation journal, where I get feathers constantly in my manifestation journal.
Do you stick them in? Are they stuck in there?
Yeah, just stuck them in.
And is this your own journal that you have designed as well? Because I recognise the front, yes, and the writing.
Yeah, so I write this every day. The reason I designed it is because I couldn't find an exact one of my practice that I do. So what I'll do is I'll put my manifestation choices. Where's your focus? Because a lot of people think, oh, I can't manifest that, or I don't know what to do with that. It's because their focus is in completely the wrong place. Their focus is on the lack, and it's not on the actual thing that they want.
Yes.
So it's keeping your focus on the end result, keeping your focus on where it is that you want to go. But also what I do every morning is I tune into my energy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being really high vibe and 1 being you're dead, you know, I'll tune into my energy. Where's my energy? Because I understand that your energy vibration has to be at a certain level for you to have manifestations come with ease. So I always tune in with to where my energy is, and also I go walking. I go hiking. It's not walking; it's because it's a bit of a hike by waterfalls and in the forest every morning.
And whereabouts are you in the UK?
I'm in Fife. I'm just outside Edinburgh, so I'm the other side of the bridges in Edinburgh, and where I stay, it's, you know, it's a beautiful place, you know, lots of waterfalls and things like that. Yeah. So I do that also, but the main thing is where your focus is, what your daily practice is, and where is your energy. That's 3 main things that you really need to know for you to get your manifestations. I mean, I've manifested some amazing things, absolute amazing things, and still am. But saying that, also I manifested some shit as well.
Me too.
So just because I have this abundance of spirit team around me with all these signs that I get, you know, and what have you, I still do all the things that you do as well, you know. But it's getting that, making that awareness. So whenever it comes in, shit, I need to change that. That's my focus in the wrong place. I need to put my focus where, and as I say, I'm away to live a lifelong dream that I've had since my 20s. So 30 odd years I've had this dream of having no responsibility in my life, because all my life I've had responsibility, whether it be kids, parents, jobs, you know, employees, whatever it was, you know, students. I've always had responsibilities, and from a very young age. And I've always said that when I have no responsibilities, I'm going to pack up and just travel and live life out of a backpack, you know.
So you're going to be one of these laptop entrepreneurs now, aren't you? Traveling the world.
Yeah, and I always said after my bridal business that if I was ever, because I was saying I would never do a business again, but I've tried working for other people, it doesn't work.
I can't do it anymore.
When you've worked for yourself for so long, it's just hard to work for someone else. Yeah. And I always said it would be a business that I could take anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. And my business, I can take it anywhere at all, because it's predominantly online. now that I work. So I'm hoping to do a spiritual retreat when I'm away as well, because I know the power that's in those. So I'm going to find a really nice location, and maybe Bali or somewhere like that, or the Philippines or somewhere like that, and do get the crowd in. Come on, let's show you what I've found and do, because I've done quite a few spiritual retreats in the past, you know.
Yeah.
And the energy is just always amazing with these. Yeah.
And for those of you that are listening and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't live in a beautiful place with waterfalls, I don't have money to go all around the world, etc., etc. I remember being in London, I was brought up in South London, lived in South London till I was, I think, 39. And I never wanted to live there. Not as a child, you know, I had my good times, I had loads of good times, but I never wanted to live there. I didn't feel it was my place.
Yeah.
The countryside was my place, or, you know,
Yeah.
basically being more connected to nature.
Yeah.
But that, I don't have the beautiful spaces. I'm in South London. I'm surrounded by concrete. I finally got aware of what I was doing and what I was saying. I was like, gosh, okay, I need to find the beauty that's within South London, appreciate it.
Yeah.
So when I was going up to London, I worked in central London at the time. I worked in Southwark and London Bridge and Waterloo area. So I'd go and I'd be looking up, instead of walking, looking at the concrete floor, you know, that I would always do. I would then start looking up, and I'd look up at the buildings and I'd appreciate the buildings. And I was like, oh, I love the Shard. Every morning I get a walk to work and I love the Shard.
Yeah.
Instead of walking to work going, oh, I fucking hate it. I can't stand this place.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, and I shifted it. And it was easier to shift my kind of external walking about energy than it was when I got in the office, because I was bored out of my head, basically. But slowly I got to shift that energy and the way I was thinking, which then eventually got me moving 100 miles away down to Bournemouth, living a life by the sea. I could, you know, I'm a mile from the sea. I was dipping in it this morning. I was dipping in it yesterday. So you can, but it's that shift and that awareness of the curses you're putting on yourself, like I was for years. Hate London, don't want to live in it, was stuck there. To actually, gosh, there's so much beauty here. I can see this, I can see that. And then all of a sudden I was moving.
Yeah.
No,
it's as easy as that. It's just the shift of perception. It's where your focus is. It's where you put your focus. And a lot of people, you know, they don't realize the words they're actually coming out with, because it's habitual. You know.
Yeah, I've done it for so long.
Habitual, myself included. I used to go to my work and I bloody hate this job, but fuck am I doing in this job? And just feel like I just had this imaginary noose around my neck continually.
Yeah.
Instead of actually seeing what I was actually doing for a lot of people, you know, I was making them feel amazing because they were getting beautiful outfits, and you know, I was teaching all ages how to really, from a piece of paper, how to make a pattern from that, and how to, you know, from that sketch they would design, and how to make that actual design up from pattern to cutting out to thing and all the rest. It was an actual gift, but I didn't see it as a gift, you know. I didn't really see it as a gift until my son just got married last year, and his wife, who used to be one of my students actually, asked me, because I said to her, don't ask me to make a wedding dress, not making a wedding dress. And so the bugger asked me. And I couldn't say no. It was a position I couldn't say no. And but she actually gave me a gift because I realised when I was making, she looks stunning. When I was making the outfit, that I absolutely loved making the outfit. It was the people's behaviours around the outfit that I despised.
Yes.
And it was a big realization that she gave me, that she gave me that love back, because I absolutely I adored making it. Don't ask me to do another one though.
Yeah. Well, you got the other son yet?
Yeah. I'm traveling.
Okay, so
Yeah.
have you got an offer for the wonderful audience?
Yeah, if they go to saa.anvarney.com/abundance, or /heart connection. So there's two different things there. So the abundance is unlocking abundance by releasing ancestral curses. And you go along the timeline and do that. And the heart connection is being able to connect to your spirit team. Because I find being on this path, a lot of people find it difficult to connect to the spirit team, or they have their expectations or how they shouldn't be, or what have you.
Yes.
So, and this was given to me by my spirit team of a good way of people connecting. And remember, when you're connecting to your spirit team, it's like a muscle. Sometimes you don't get it the first time. Sometimes you don't get it the second time, but it will come. And I remember when I was doing meditation classes, and I would get people who had never meditated before, and you would see them. Everybody would be in the zone, and they would just be looking about, going, what's going on?
Yes.
Give them 2 or 3 times, and then they would be totally, and then they would be telling other people that would be coming, just stay with it, honestly. She's telling you, just stay with it, you won't get it. And you would see them eventually get it, and when they got it, it was, you'll know yourself, it's like, wow, is that what everyone's talking about? Is that it? So yeah, there's 2 there, so they're free. Just saa.anvarney.com /abundance or /heart connection.
Fantastic. And if you're watching this on video rather than listening on the radio, then it will be above or below the video as well, with all the links. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. We finally got there.
We finally got there. The stars finally aligned.
We finally got there. Mm-hmm.
Absolute pleasure. So remember, you can connect with Anne. You can search annevarney.com, and it's saa.annevarney.com, and either /ancestral or / what was the other one?
So abundance /abundance, it's the same thing.
Yes, fantastic.
/abundance or /heart connection.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Pleasure talking to you as always.
And
we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, totally. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training, techniques, healing and guidance for growth, mindset and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlan. Hello, gorgeous souls. We are heading into the meditation section now. That's a section that is all about mindfulness and meditation. So thank you for joining us today. My name's Jane Scanlan. I'm going to take you on the power of acceptance, Meditation. I invite you to get comfortable and bring kind awareness as to what this topic brings up in your belly, chest, and head when you reflect on it. Tune in to the emotions that you associate with these visceral feelings and bring kind awareness to the positive or negative stories that show up. Find yourself a comfortable seat where you can relax and be relatively free from distractions. Obviously, if you are driving and listening to this, now would not be an appropriate time to practice mindfulness and meditation. And I find a balance between sitting up tall but remaining relaxed, feeling into the width of your chest as you soften your shoulders down and back. Rest your palms face up or down on your thighs, or in a manner that's most comfortable for you. I invite you to close your eyes or gaze low at the ground ahead of you and breathe in and out through your nose if possible. Choose a breath that reflects all the qualities you desire in your mind. Gentle, quiet, patient, steady, spacious, and at ease. Balance your awareness between the three spheres of mindfulness. Breathe in and out. These three spheres of mindfulness are your body, your breath, and the mind itself. Stay present right here with all three. Seated, breathing, present in the body, mind, and breath. Present, aware, open, spacious. Now notice what's present here with you. Notice if there's any sensations arising in the body, an energy that you can sense through the breath, or a movement, emotion, or habitual thought in the mind. Whatever you have noticed, let it be. And notice if there's any other sensations arising in the body, an energy that you can sense through the breath. Mind. Don't try to change it. Don't chase it. Don't push it away. Can you remain still and spacious in your mind and in your awareness as you accept what it is that's arising? This is how things are, right here, right now. Recall the acceptance is spacious, non-judgmental, and unattached. To attach is not an endorsement. To accept is not an endorsement. To accept is not an opinion. And to accept is simply to recognize and to notice. Acceptance is mindfulness and awareness of reality as it is. Now, what about now? What's present here with you now? What's arising in the body? What can you sense through the breath? And is there stillness or movement in the mind? How are things? Right here, right now. Notice how it is and accept it. Thanks to your acceptance, there can be a softening. There can be movement. There can be change. This is how things are, right here, right now. Notice, welcome, accept. Sense the whole body, the breath, and the mind itself opening into the freedom of acceptance. Nothing needs to be different right now. This is how it is. And from the spaciousness of acceptance, tap into the wisdom that acceptance provides. From the spaciousness of acceptance, from this awareness of how things are, take a nice deep breath in and shift the back or the shoulders, coming back into your body, connecting to the wisdom in your body, your breath and the mind. And ask the body itself this question: what should I do now? And be equally accepting of the answer. Coming back into the body, into the environment that you're in, wiggling the fingers and the toes. And this is just a suggestion to write down any messages that came through to you just then. And my name's Jane Scanlan, and I look forward to connecting with you next week on Stay Sane with Jane, the radio show that helps you and your business to stay sane.
Stay Sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training,
techniques, healing and guidance for growth, mindset and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests.